It is Monday, February 23rd. Your drive begins now on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. The text line is open at 304-396-TALK. That is 304-396-8255. We've got basketball to recap from the weekend. Of course, we're also going to hear from head coach Cornelius Jackson. His presser just wrapped it up not that long ago. We've got some audio to share with you from that. And, of course, we're going to hear from you. Our text line, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. You can find me on X at Paul Swann as well. Looking forward to hearing from you. What a great day yesterday was. If you were bright and early watching Team USA beat Canada 2-1 in overtime, you probably get treated to some of the best hockey I've ever seen. So the gold medal game, it comes down to overtime, 3-on-3, which should have been Canada's game, in my opinion. You put three of the best, including Connor McDavid, out there. And I know Sidney Crosby was not available. For a lot of Penguins fans, you're probably concerned what the rest of the season is going to look like without him. But you have Connor McDavid out there, Nathan McKinnon out there. You've got two of the best doing it today, and you can't get it done. And there was a lot of coping on social media yesterday, a lot of coping from sports media personalities. It was interesting to watch that from one, as a fan. And I'm going to be quite honest with you. I'm not objective when it comes to things like that. And I'm just going to be quite candid with you. Yeah, that's a passion for me. I don't look at it as I am a journalist. I am a observer. No, I'm a fan. I'm just getting into it. I'm a fan because I don't cover the sport. I don't profess to, but I'm a fan. And so it was interesting maybe just to, after doing the fan thing, just to step back a little bit and trying to watch what social media and what the storylines were, because there was a lot of coping. Oh, this team should not have lost. And you could almost replace Canada with whatever team, and it felt like, wow, this is there's a lot of trying to figure out how to make this make sense. And so saw a very passionate country kind of have to come to the realization that the United States, which at best this is what, fourth, fifth, sixth sport. I mean, you got football, which is king. You've got basketball. You've got what? Baseball, probably. It's baseball third, maybe. Hockey, maybe fourth. As far as maybe, I only seen participation. I don't know. But it was a tremendous game to watch nonetheless. And so I hope if you tuned in and you got excited and you're thinking, hey, maybe I should give that a chance, and I would really like to watch hockey. Or did it do anything for you? Did you watch it and go, great, USA won. That's cool. All right, moving on. We'll see you in 4 years. Did that have that effect on you, or are you really into it right now? So I'm kind of curious. Want to get into that with you. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Jack Hughes with the game winner. Only cost him a couple of teeth to get the gold medal. Connor Hellebuck was outstanding. He got scored on one time, and it was almost like the perfect shot. But he was one goal against 42 shots. Team Canada shot 2.4%. Just kind of put it in basketball terms. Poor shooting. They controlled the ice. USA, the one that matters, the overtime winner, but 2 of 28 shooting. The goaltending saved the day for Team USA, and so the gold medal game is won. And there was a lot of excitement yesterday and today, looking at social media, looking at just how the nation has reacted to this game. And there's also a lot of politics going on with it as well. And I don't know if I want to get into that myself, because I do separate politics from sports as much as I possibly can, because I honestly, genuinely believe that you tune in, you want to listen to someone talk about sports, talk about the things that you're passionate about, and you might want to just try to get away from it all for maybe an hour or so. And hopefully I bring that to you. And if I don't, I'll do a better job of it, because that's really what I want to do, is give you an opportunity for an hour or so. Hey, I'm getting away from it. I'm enjoying talking about the things that I'm passionate about with other people and hearing what others have to say about the thing that I love. And usually it's martial sports, obviously. But today, the thing I loved the most was I had not seen a moment like that 46 years. 46 years to the day yesterday that the Miracle on Ice happened. It wasn't for the gold medal, by the way. That was just Team USA beating the unstoppable Soviet Union hockey team. The gold medal was actually awarded. It was a round robin, and Team USA won that. And so now, third gold medal all time in Olympic hockey, 1960, 1980, and 2026. Tremendous feeling for me. I'll remember that for a long time to come. I'm going to look back on that fondly. And again, high-level hockey, one of the best games I've ever seen. And if you got to watch it, I'm grateful that you got to see it, and hopefully I can convert you a little bit. But let's talk a little more about what we want to get into, and that's Marshall basketball. We got a couple of games to go before tournament time. It's getting down to the wire. Thundering Herd falling on the road. Coastal Carolina getting the sweep 79-75. And so Marshall now out of first place. There's still time to solidify a good spot in the tournament. That is important because top two are going to play 2 days. Top four, if you're in 3 or 4, you're going to play an extra day. But right now it's App State at 11-6. App State 11-6. Marshall and Troy are both a half game back at 10-6. South Alabama joins those two now at 10-6, and Texas State is at 10-7. So right now, Arkansas State's a game and a half out. Coastal's a game and a half out. Interesting to look at the schedules and see what's going to happen. App State has Texas State. That's it. App State has Texas State. And then it's tournament time for App State. Now, what does the rest of the schedule look like for the Troy Trojans at 10-6? Lost to South Alabama. So now I think the next two are wins. UL and ULM. I would put my money on Troy to win both of those games. If App State, for some reason, could not get past Texas State. Now, keep this in mind. It's at Texas State. Texas State has been excellent at home. And this is Texas State's last game as well before the tournament. Marshall, on the other hand, has 2 more to go. And the Thundering Herd have games with ODU and Georgia Southern. Now, ODU, 6-10 in league, 4.5 back, right? Trying to get themselves out of that bottom spot. Share it with UL Monroe, but UL Monroe's stuck at 9.5 back. Georgia Southern, on the other hand, 7-9, 3.5 back. Are these games winnable? Yeah, I would say that. I would feel good saying that. Old Dominion's already lost to the Herd once. On the other side, Georgia Southern has beaten the Herd, 101-87, just to refresh you. And so Marshall has an opportunity to finish, if Troy would stumble, if App State would finish 11-7, and Marshall could go 12-6, and Troy would falter. Marshall would, of course, then leapfrog Troy at 12-6. 12-6 now. Better record than Troy. Leapfrogs Troy. And then South Alabama, if by chance South Alabama ends up 11-6, and that's with 2 games to go, South Alabama is in the same situation. ULM and Southern Miss. Those are winnable games for South Alabama. So if South Alabama can finish 12-6, the Thundering Herd would finish 12-6. The head-to-head, I would imagine, would have to go to the Thundering Herd there. Troy needs to falter. Troy needs to drop a game. Marshall needs to win out. And then we're talking probably, depending on whatever other math comes into the picture here, tiebreakers, depending on what else happens across the league here, I think Marshall would obviously solidify itself in the top 4 spot. The tiebreaker, I would have to say, Marshall's got the tiebreaker with App State, head-to-head, right? Marshall's got the tiebreaker with South Alabama, right? Head-to-head. Marshall does not have the tiebreaker with the Troy Trojans. So if those two teams would finish, and again, those two teams would finish 12-6, both of them, and then App State would finish 12-6. You would have a 3-way tie for the top spot. How does that work with Troy obviously losing to App State? So Troy has lost to App State, but Troy has beaten Marshall. So we're going to have to go to all the crazy tiebreakers to see which one of these programs would get the number 1 seed. Because at that point, you'd have 3 teams, possibly 4, sitting in that top spot. So you definitely would have your 4 locked in. It's just which one's going to get the number 1 seed. I don't want to be doing the math. I'm already getting a headache thinking about what the math looks like because we don't know what all the outcomes are just yet. If this team wins and this team loses, what's the math look like? So we're going to hear from Coach Jackson in just a few minutes. Recap this loss to Coastal Carolina, 79-75. We're also keeping an eye on baseball. The Thundering Herd, bottom of the 8th, taking on Winthrop, leading 7-6. And again, that is in the bottom of the 8th, but it looks like the bases are loaded for Winthrop. We'll keep an eye on that matchup. We'll talk more to you about what happened the rest of the weekend as well for the Thundering Herd on the women's side. Marshall got the win over Georgia State, 82-75. The Herd's now 23-7, 13-4 in league play. We'll take a look at what they have to do in their hunt for at least one of the top spots in the tournament. All of that coming up on today's edition of Your Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Grab the mic and bring the fun to the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe. Introducing Mike Night at the Marshall Cafe, our brand new karaoke night. It's the first Saturday of every month from 9 to 11. Whether you're a total superstar or a shower singer who just loves to have fun, this night is for you. Sing loud, laugh hard, and make a night of it at the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe. Mike Night, where everyone's a headliner at the Marshall Hall of Fame Cafe on the corner of Fun and 3rd Avenue across from Pullman Square.
Cold weather's on its way, and what do you want on those cold, chilly evenings? A warm blanket and a hot cup of cocoa. Well, you know who else wants the same comfort? Mice. Messy, uninvited guests. They sneak in and leave droppings, chew through your food and packages. Don't let mice take over your home this fall and winter. Call K&B Pest Control. We will kill for your business. Call today, 304-523-4281.
Menard's 11% rebate is here. From lighting to lumber, from doors to floors. The bigger the project, the bigger the rebate. From painting projects to that new kitchen makeover and designing that outdoor space of your dreams. Save big on any project you're tackling. Hurry into Menards for an 11% rebate on everything. Mail-in rebate is a merchandise credit check, not a point-of-sale discount. Redeemable on future in-store purchases only. Not on future purchases on Menards.com. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Kinder Communications is proud to welcome WSAZ to our family of stations. When you listen to your favorite Kindred station, you'll hear the trusted voices from WSAZ you know, with the WSAZ First Alert, forecast, and the latest news. WSAZ and Kinder Communications, working together for the Tri-State.
Looking for midweek fun? Head to Frank's Place, where every night's a party. Wednesdays are full of brains and brews with trivia night. Grab your crew and show off what you know. Thursdays, crank it up with Singo Bingo. Music meets bingo for prizes and laughs. Then Fridays, we hand you the mic for karaoke night. Sing your heart out and start your weekend right. The fun never stops at Frank's Place. Great drinks, great friends, and good times. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Peekaboo, peekaboo, smile.
Smile, buddy.
Come on, smile. Oh, honey, he's still not smiling.
Maybe he's not a smiler.
Yeah, maybe he's just not a happy baby.
Maybe he's just being a boy. You know how boys are.
Or maybe he's teething. Oh, poor baby. I think his gums hurt.
Maybe he's just tired.
Or maybe his tummy hurts. He didn't eat that much.
Maybe he's not ticklish.
You think maybe he's scared of the dog?
Maybe he'll outgrow it. Maybe it's a phase. Maybe he just doesn't like smiling.
Maybe he has autism, and we can definitely do something to help.
Maybe is all you need to find out more about autism. No big, joyful smiles by 6 months is one early sign. Learn the others at autismspeaks.org/signs or see a doctor today for an autism screening. The sooner it's diagnosed, the better. And it can make a lifetime of difference. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
My name is Ruth Rusi. I'm a retired teacher. I'm 91 years old, and this is how I live united. I say retired, but not really. Once a week, I read books to children as part of United Way's education program. Reading to a child creates links between language and literacy. It creates a bond between grown-up and child. And believe it or not, it prepares them for a better academic future. Oh, we read about frogs and flies and pigs with wings, all sorts of juicy stuff. It's a joy to watch all those little faces. I figure I have the time and they have the need. And I've always believed that if we're not here to help each other, then what are we here for really? My name is Ruth Rusey. I help kids prepare to succeed in school. So I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
Give, advocate, volunteer, Live United. Go to liveunited.org. Brought to you by United Way and the Ad Council.
This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Follow at Paul Swann on X for Marshall sports updates and more.
We're going to hear from head coach Cornelius Jackson in just a few minutes. Until then, let's get to the text line, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We've got a lot of stuff good coming in. Let me go first. This one, I'm glad someone's doing the math. Texter says, Paul, if my calculations are correct, if Marshall wins the last two games, we own the tiebreakers over everyone but Troy, so we shouldn't finish worse than second. Appreciate the text. And absolutely, you want to win the conference regular season championship, but you also want to finish first or second because of the tournament. 2 days, that's it. You can win 2 games. I like Marshall's chances in a 2-game tournament against the league. I feel good about Marshall's chances in a 2-game tournament. Also, from the text line, texter says, Paul, even though you're a journalist, country should always come first. Don't feel bad about being a fan and letting it known that you're a fan and you know what, no matter who your team is. Let me see if I read that correctly. And letting it known that you're a fan and you know what, no matter who your team USA is or was playing, be proud to say you're a fan and you want them to win. Wear it on your sleeve just like we also do with Marshall. As always, go Herd. And no country roads. Yeah, I do wear it on my sleeve. I'm not going to lie to you. It's because of the fact that it's one of the few things that I can actually just express myself and not repress because, I mean, look, the backstory here is, you know me. I went to Marshall. I graduated from Marshall. I've been following Marshall since I was a child. I went to games at Fairfield Stadium. I would get a ticket, and it was the coolest thing ever. It was Fairfield Stadium. I didn't know better. At the time, I didn't know that, it was an aging stadium or, I had to learn everything. I was a kid, and, I was born in the shadow of the plane crash. I was born before the Young Thundering Herd played its first official game. So, I'm a fan. But at the same time, I owe it to myself and I owe it to everyone to be fair, honest, and sit back and be objective with Marshall. And sometimes, maybe I'm perceived as being too hard. Maybe sometimes I'm perceived the exact opposite. Your mileage will vary. But at the same time, just being a fan of something is fun. I'm not going to lie to you. It's fun to just go, yeah, Team USA. And I think Canadian sports fans met college football Twitter. It all turned on Canadian sport fan. You don't want to face off against college football Twitter. I don't want to face off against college football Twitter. I think college football Twitter just decided, hey, look, we're all hockey fans today, and just pummeled that country on social media. I hadn't seen so much coping and, you're poor sports, bad sportsmanship. Score more points. Score 5-on-3. Score. Hey, Nathan McKinnon. That's a wide open net. Why don't you hit that? And then you don't have to worry about this overtime thing. Or, hey, it's 3-on-3 hockey. Your best going up against the United States best. You have Connor McDavid and Nathan McKinnon. Those are the two top guys in the hockey world. Pay attention and don't leave Jack Hughes open. Number 86 for you from the New Jersey Devils, by the way. 8-6, by the way, my birthday. August 6th, 8-6. It was meant to be. I'm gonna take partial credit for that. Texture says, Paul, best hockey game I've ever seen. Nothing like hearing Freebird after game-winning goal and seeing our players sing courtesy of the red, white, and blue while celebrating in the locker room. Yeah, they got a lot of trouble for some of that stuff there. I know the antics got out a little bit. They won. They were celebrating. I get it. The emotions are riding high there, and so they were having a good time celebrating. Freebird's fun. Other countries hate hearing Freebird. Yeah, okay, fine. Make the USA the big bad. I think the United States has earned its place in the hockey world and has worked hard. It's not a miracle. Miracle was 46 years ago yesterday. This is not a miracle. Texture says, Paul, I am a fan of hockey, especially the Olympics, but never paid much attention to the women's game until this year. Just watching the women play as fast and rough as the men. Proud for the United States of America. I appreciate that text as well. They play a tremendous version of the game. It's been competitive for years like that. And if you're interested in following women's hockey, of course, the women will play more international games. You'll see them face off against Canada a lot more because Canada and the United States are the top two teams. And there are several teams right now in the Professional Women's Hockey League. You have the Boston Fleet, the Minnesota Frost, the New York Sirens, the Seattle Torrent, and then you've got the Canadian teams, which unless you're Canadian, I don't know if you want to root for Montreal, Ottawa, Toronto, or Vancouver. But then again, I've rooted for the Manitoba Moose in minor league hockey. So, I will cross borders. But you've got an option to kind of watch that game as well. And there's college hockey. Ohio State with plenty of contributions to the USA. It's crazy just to see how much talent there is in the NCAA, and you look at how many Ohio players alone are on that roster, or Ohio State players. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. That is our number to be a part of today's show here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. And if you're interested in maybe watching a little bit more hockey, the NHL starts back up Wednesday. All right, looking at the text line, I tell you what I want to do. I want to hit the break because we've got Coach Jackson, and it's several minutes. So if you want to get your text in, go ahead and do it now. And again, that's 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. If you've got math calculations, if you're done the bracketology, Marshall should finish no worse than second if the Herd can win out these next two. What does Coach Jackson think that is going to happen this week? We're going to get his thoughts, and we're going to hear from you as well when we continue on this edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
At Poca Valley Bank, a handshake can still mean the start of a great relationship. We've been greeting customers with a handshake since 1908. Why settle for less? If you're purchasing your first home or planning for your future, Poca Valley Bank is here to support you with personalized service and local expertise. They are your trusted advisors. Why settle for less when you can experience banking with a team that truly cares? Poca Valley Bank, where relationships matter. Visit PocaValleyBank.com. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
You've cut back on everything and you're still coming up short at the end of the month. Give your local State Farm agent a call for a free discount double check. They'll show you how something as simple as combining car and home policies can save you hundreds of dollars a year. Being there to help keep more of your money is why your local State Farm agent is here. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
In Huntington, Jeff Smith, 304-781-1234. And in Wayne, Vicky Tabor, 304-272-5149.
The Marshall Sports Medicine Institute, the exclusive provider of sports medicine services to Marshall University Athletics, is pleased to offer walk-in clinics 6 days a week. Full-service appointments are available on a walk-in basis weekdays from 9 until 3. And a screening clinic is conducted Saturday mornings 8 to 10. No appointment necessary. For more information, call 304-691-1880. The Marshall Sports Medicine Institute, taking care of the Herd, taking care of you.
Wow, yeah, since the storm, it's been crazy busy for us. We got all kinds of office desks coming in. Here's a fancy one right here. It's missing a leg, but that's all right. Whatever. Washers and dryers from a laundromat. Oh, wow, and check this out. Another deep fryer. And I'm not sure what this doohickey is. Yeah, most businesses weren't ready for a storm like that, But our work's really piling up here at Roberts & Son Salvage.
What will become of your business after a disaster? Nearly 2/3 of businesses aren't prepared for an emergency, and 40% of businesses that experience a disaster never recover. Make an emergency plan now, before it's too late. For a free online tool that helps you develop an emergency plan to keep your business up and running should disaster strike, visit ready.gov/business. Brought to you by the Federal Emergency Management Agency, the American Red Cross, and the Ad Council.
This is The Drive on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. Miss an episode? Catch it anytime on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.
We continue on with this Monday edition of Your Drive here on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I'm your host, Paul Swann. Our text line this hour brought to you by Clark's Pump and Shop at 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. Texter says, Paul, me and my friends are going to our first NHL game in Columbus this Saturday. Any suggestions on what seats to get? Depending on the atmosphere that you want to experience, if you can get seats on the glass. You're right up there, up close. You can feel like you're on the ice. I mean, there's nothing like just being on the glass. Now, depending on where you can get your tickets, make sure if you want to get closest to the action, the lower bowl's probably what my suggestion is. And on the ice, close as you can get, you're going to feel it. You're going to hear it. And you're going to definitely get that audio, just like the ice, the skates. You'll hear the hits better. If you're on the ice area, the boards, you're going to hear that clang of the boards. So if you can get seats like that, you're doing well. Now, if you want to just maybe sit back and take it all in, if you can get somewhere near center ice in the lower bowl, if you can get somewhere in that range, you can see everything. You shouldn't miss any of the action here. I mean, if you see a breakaway happen, you'll see it. If there's a great save, you're going to see that as well. Club level, obviously, is and if you're going to Columbus, if the club levels are anything what it was when I was there, and they've probably gotten better, club's good too. I sat in the corner. That's where I like to sit. When I was in Huntington Blizzard games, I always sat center and probably up. I mean, again, the Huntington arena, it's not that big, so I'd be considered like the lower bowl. But if I'm going to sit, I don't know if I sit in the end zone. I would sit in the corner maybe, because I don't miss anything. If I'm in the corner, I'm not missing anything. And depending on where you can get your tickets, if you've got a group and you can get lower bowl, I would do that. If you can get ice level basically on the boards, if those just fall in your lap, or you can get those in the secondary market, they're not too bad, that's always a great spot. But for me, I'm thinking center, lower bowl. I kind of get to see everything. I can take it all in. Me personally, that's probably what I would do, or the corner. And again, that's where I sat with Blizzard games. I was always sitting, center, up, and up is not that high, so it's probably relatively, lower bowlish compared to what is it nationwide. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255 is our number to be a part of today's show here on ESPN 94.1. And AM 930 lower bowl, always near the boards. If you can get it now, if you're like 3 or 4 or 5 back, I don't know, but if you can get the boards, you can pound on the glass. Some people think that's fun to do. You'll see everything as well. And Columbus nationwide is not a bad arena as well at all. We'll get some of your texts in just a second. Let's go to Coach Jackson. We had his presser earlier, and I want to make sure that we get to it before we run out of time. Of course, Coach wasn't feeling so well. He mentioned that the other day during the postgame after the loss, and that seemed to have carried over a little bit. So here's Coach Jackson setting up the next 2 games and answering questions. That presser wrapped up not that long ago. Let's get what Coach Jackson had to say getting set for the final week of the regular season.
Last week, man, season's flown by, but you know what? It's been a process. It's been an enjoyable process. Obviously, we're excited about playing our last 2 games here in the can.
Coach, just emphasizing the importance of these games. Your kids know it. How do you kind of approach this week, realizing that you could really position yourselves pretty well here?
Yeah, day by day. We're always focusing on winning the day. Obviously, we understand what's ahead, but we focus day by day. You can't shy away from it. You can't act like it's not a huge opportunity for our program, but at the same time, we focus on winning each day.
Talked about it on Saturday about just kind of getting your bodies right for a couple of days. I know it's a pretty short turnaround to go play on Tuesday, but just how's that process been?
Yeah, we played a lot of games. Again, it's we're doing more mental stuff than physical right now. We've been on the road. I want to say we got back the other day. I want to say we were on the road 9 out of 11 days. And that makeup game, I put another game in there. So 5 games, 11 days or so. So it's been a grind. It's the gauntlet. You know, we're almost through. You know, everyone is last 2 games of the season, right? So everyone is somewhat fatigued, right? So we're gonna have some mental toughness. You're gonna have some grit. Obviously, we're at home, so we get to sleep in our own beds for the next couple of days. But at the same time, you can't relax because you're at home. You know, you have to keep that same focus and drive that you had at the start of the season.
Coach, you get into any of the scenarios, you just say, look, just let's go play these games. We'll do the math afterwards, kind of thing.
Yeah, I don't look ahead. I don't do scenarios. I don't do, you know what, because it'll play out how it play out regardless. You know, we have to handle our business. I've always been that guy, you know, my whole life. That's how I live my life. I worry about, you know, what we have going on and make sure our house is right, we're doing the right things, and we do the right things and keep doing what we're supposed to do. The rest of the outside stuff and take care of itself.
You look at Old Dominion, you go back to that last game. Is there anything from that one that you can take into this one in terms of things you see differently or anything?
You know what? I've watched it a couple of times. You know, they're talented. I thought they got out in transition early on. Got some isolation plays. They were making big shots. Second half, we made a few adjustments, and then we got out in transition, speeded up our pace, and obviously we had 3 or 4 guys make some really big shots. But you know, they're better than their record. They beat Arkansas State at Arkansas State. They just lost to Southern Miss, but they were up 20. So, you know, you got to be ready to play. They know us. We know them. We just played them on the 11th. So it's going to be a game. You got to be ready to play.
All year long, we kind of talked about the fight in your guys, and you've gotten down a lot of times, but man, there's always that punch back. You have to be pleased with that resilience as you head into a real critical week.
Yeah, that says a lot about the character of the team, you know, because we've been in several situations this year where we could have folded, could have quit, packed it in. But our guys, you know, they hadn't done that. You know, they fight to the end. They believe in one another, and we've been able to. Some games, you know, came back and won. The other night at Coastal, we fell short, but that could have went sour quick. Could have went bad, and we stayed in the fight. I want to say we cut it to a 3-point game late there. So again, man, it's winning time. It's tournament time. Even though the tournament hasn't started for a week or so, but it's tournament time.
A lot of folks kind of put a lot of emphasis on what Landon did at App State and everything with him kind of moving into that starting role, but his defense, I mean, it kind of goes without question what that brings to the lineup for you guys and everything.
Yeah, he's probably, you know, probably our best on-ball defender. You know what? He's quick. He has a good feel for the game. He has good anticipation skills a lot of times. So, you know what? We brought him into the lineup to guard really the kid from South Alabama. The kid likes to get downhill, really good point guard. The kid scored, but he knew Landon was there, which was good. So he's a good player, man. You know, he had a great finish at App State. But, you know, we had several guys play well. Andrew was 5 for 5 or 6 for 6, whatever he was. We had guys make big plays. That was a tough environment. You know, they were ready for us. The crowd was into it. It was loud. For us to kind of come back, and our guys can show the grit. Really said a lot about their character and toughness.
As much as you can go into it, do you expect that maybe to be able to get Matt back in the lineup here in the coming week?
I'm not sure. You know what? I'm not sure. You know where Matt is. Again, I told our guys we're going to focus on the guys that's on the floor, guys that's available, and give those guys all of our energy. So that's what we're doing. So I'm not sure.
You're playing that man-to-man a lot of times. Then all of a sudden, you jump in that little zone, travel like that, and I have seen team after team have, what the hell's going on? They have no answer, not stealing trade secrets, but what makes that? I mean, Jim Boeheim ran a 2-3 zone, everybody knew what was coming, but it worked. He was never, man-to-man was not his vocabulary, but your zone just gives them, I've watched team after team just have no answer.
Well, it's just one of those things, whether we're in man or zone, we want to have aggressiveness about us. We want to have a focus. We don't want to, a lot of teams when they play zone, they relax. Right? I don't want our guys relaxing mentally or physically when it goes on. I still want our guys to be active, and we'll put a little press before it and play the press and then fall back into a zone. So guys, they've been doing a great job executing. You know, I can't take any credit. You know, the credit goes to them. They're on the floor executing and making a play. I'm on the sidelines just calling the play. Still got to execute.
Is that kind of a thing you see with that defense, like the will to win that you talk about a lot with, Jalen or anyone else, like especially the way that Jalen finished at Coastal?
It's that time of year. You got to find ways to win. You got to have the will to win. Like I said last week, do a poll, ask people, everybody wants to win. I haven't met one person in my life yet that when you say, you want to win this? No, I don't want to win it. I haven't met one person in my life, but I have met a lot of people in my life that, you ask them, do they want to win, and they raise their hand and they say, well, you have to do X, Y, Z, you have to do A, B, C, you have to, and then they say, ooh, then they start thinking about it. You can see the wheels turning, right? And then once they realize how hard it is, that next go round, they keep their hand down. So it's that time of year. You're going to have guys banged up, you're going to have guys sick. Every team knows one another's tendencies, plays. I called a play at Coastal Carolina, and the whole bench, including the manager, just a 2 band members screamed the play on. So everyone's going to know your plays. So you got to have a will. You got to have a will to win. You got to have a determination. You got to find ways to win everywhere heading in March.
Cody, is it just me or the standings, or have you seen the league as balanced as it seems like top to bottom, and there's not a lot of separation, and it reflects in the standings heading into this thing?
Yeah, I mean, anyone can beat you. It's crowded. It's crowded, and I think that speaks volumes of the league, right? It's a good league, good coaches, good players. It's not easy. So yeah, we don't talk about it as much as a team. We just focus on winning the day. And I swear, I know I say it a lot, but if you just do what you're supposed to do, everything will shake out like it's supposed to. Good. Thanks.
There you have it. Comments from head coach Cornelius Jackson. His presser wrapping up not that long ago, so we appreciate Tyler Kennett from HD Media helping me out today with the audio so we could get it to you before the show ended. We're going to get your text 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. We'll update you on Marshall baseball against Winthrop. And, oh, by the way, I've got tickets. I should have probably led with that. I've got tickets to tomorrow's game. You got to pick them up tomorrow before 5 o'clock here at our radio station. So if you've already texted in, don't worry. I'm going to put your name in the drawing. And if you'd like to win those tickets and get yourself eligible, all you have to do is text in now, 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255 for tickets to go see the Herd take on Old Dominion. And we'll give those away when we continue on this edition of The Drive, ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Injured in a wreck? Warner Law Offices is now here for you in Huntington on 4th Avenue across from the courthouse. Personal, local, decades of experience.
Call 345-6789.
Metro Community Federal Credit Union now brings you all the tech that big banks have, but still has that personal touch of a member-owned community credit union. Apple Pay? Got it. Digital wallet? Yep. Message pay by text? Online loan payments? Even chatting with a real person, not a bot. Open accounts, sign documents, and manage your money all online. It's the big bank tech you need from the local community-minded credit union you trust. Metro Community FCU. Visit metrocommunityfcu.com today.
Looking for midweek fun? Head to Frank's Place, where every night's a party. Wednesdays are full of brains and brews with trivia night. Grab your crew and show off what you know. Thursdays, crank it up with Singo Bingo. Music meets bingo for prizes and laughs. Then Fridays, we hand you the mic for karaoke night. Sing your heart out and start your weekend right. The fun never stops at Frank's Place. Great drinks, great friends, and good times. Frank's Place, located at the River Place Plaza, next to Fratelli's. Check them out on Facebook for weekly updates and specials. Frank's Place, your home away from home.
Candor Communications is proud to welcome WSAZ to our family of stations. When you listen to your favorite Kindred station, you'll hear the trusted voices from WSAZ you know, with the WSAZ First Alert forecast and the latest news. WSAZ and Candor Communications, working together for the Tri-State.
Dad, this is fun. I didn't think I'd like kayaking.
Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, but I think it's time to head back in.
Okay. Can we come back?
Sure.
Tomorrow?
Let's check with Mom. Hey, be careful getting out of the boat.
It's a kayak, Dad.
I'm gonna return the kayak. Just make sure you have everything.
Yep. Can we walk home?
How about a taxi? 233 North Maple, please.
It's a short fare from your neighborhood to your naturehood. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a neighborhood park or green space near you. Also, find fun activities to do like boating and biking or camping and hiking, plus much more. It's all right in your neighborhood.
Best day ever.
A public service announcement brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
Hi, this is Dave Wilson, host of Metro News Talk Line, and you're listening to The Drive with Paul Swann on ESPN 94.1 and AM 930.
Final segment for today's edition of The Drive here at ESPN 94.1 and AM 930. I've left the rest of the show open to you. We're also going to give you a chance to win tickets to go see the Herd take on Old Dominion. You know how to play, and if you don't, let me tell you how. It's text to win. It's real simple. Just be a part of the show. 304-396-TALK, 304-396-8255. I don't want to try to make you jump through hoops. I'll do that occasionally, but at the same time, I want to make sure it's easy as everyone can get a shot at these things. And I'm not going to make you answer questions, anything like that, unless it's a good question. But you can suggest those questions as well. I'll actually throw that out to you one time. Throw out a good question that we can ask everybody else. And so that will be a challenge for the next set of tickets. So with that said, we'll get your text in just a few minutes. I'm excited that a lot of you were watching Team USA win yesterday. I was up at 7-something yesterday. Now, Sunday is like a day I can sleep in. I'm usually burning both ends of the candle, and Sunday's that day I'm like, okay, I'm just going to crash. I'm going to do it, maybe recharge, I'll be ready to go. Again, I don't want to talk too much business here, but I'm running on fumes a lot of days, and I'm burning at both ends. And so I was up, boom, this popped up. I'm ready to go. Bring it on. Team USA, let's go. And then I sat there and I didn't really look away too much. You know how you watch something and you kind of get distracted by your phone. You're on X, you're on Threads if you're using that, you're on Facebook, you're getting updates. No, I'm sitting there the entire time because after that 5-on-3, and momentum did shift, and Canada really tilted the ice against the United States, and I thought Canada was doing a really good job as far as puck control, making plays happen. I felt like the United States for a while was almost in a dump and chase mode, and you don't want to do that. You want to try to get in there, create opportunities, and you can't do that dump and chase. But United States penalty kill was exceptional. No one scored on the United States the entire tournament on the power play. And so the PK was perfect. And Connor Hellebuck was almost invincible. He was like a brick wall for the United States. And so bright and early, I saw a lot of people complaining, hey, we got to get up. This is, because it's the Olympics. It's in a different country. I saw that too. And the one thing I can say about Canada, not me personally, but a lot of people were into the day drinking because they, at least in Ottawa, and I know New York did this as well. For Sunday, some rules were suspended, so there was a lot of pre-gaming going on before this game. The one thing I did like, only because I found it funny, was, and maybe I'm doing it wrong, maybe I should be doing more of the funny videos, and maybe I should be doing the reactions, filming myself watching a game and reacting, and you can see all the creases and the frowns and the smiles and all of that. No, because I don't want to be a meme. I don't want to have a reaction video out there of me. That I don't want to be the blinking guy. I don't want to be that. And there are a lot of people that now will have to live that down for the rest of their lives because they're streaming and they're doing social media and they're watching the game, and then they're showing themselves because they want to be performative. And I'm going to videotape myself. Oh, listen how old I am. I'm going to video myself, and when Canada scores, I'm going to be on TikTok, and I'm going to be on Facebook, and I'm going to have the video, and oh, what the hell happened? And you saw just the entire life force of a nation, thanks to its social media, just dissipate from its body. And you saw all these sad faces. And then the gold medal ceremony, Team USA just having a good time. Canada, it's like you play the game and then the other team doesn't leave. That's the one thing about the gold medal game and the bronze medal game, to that fact too, is it's not as if you have a moment to cool down. I mean, if you win like a sport, individual sport, you're excited maybe, and then you have the medal ceremony and you get to go on stage and you probably you have accepted it. And for most people, winning the silver, getting the bronze, it's a monumental achievement, not for Canada. And so you got the gold medal ceremony. And again, Nathan McKinnon was not a happy camper. Sidney Crosby's not available. He gets dressed in so he can be out there, and he gets his first silver. Congratulations to him for that. And they give the medals out, and they're just looking like so disgusted. Like, yeah, we're the best team in the world. We should have won. And then they come out and bring the plushie. The plushie. Here's your silver. Here's your plushie. And by the way, I found out the name of the plushie. I guess the mascot. I had not been that invested in the Olympics and all the plushie culture and the mascot culture. The plushie's name was Tina. Tina. And so the worst girlfriend I ever had was named Tina. The very worst. And the plushie's named after Tina. I would have yeeted that thing too. I would have done what Nathan McKinnon didn't do. Look at that thing. I'd have yeeted that. Tina, here. I would not have been very respectful at the Olympics if they handed me a plushie named Tina. That's going to do it for this edition, by the way. Thanks for tuning in. I appreciate everyone having fun with me today. We're going to do it again tomorrow. Marshall basketball coming up.
WRBC Huntington, W227BS Huntington, your flagship home of the Marshall Thundering Herd and The Drive with Paul Swann, ESPN 94.1 FM and AM 930.